You know, there's another aspect to this abortion story making waves right now. The upcoming Supreme Court decision touches a deeply personal issue, but it's also being used as an increasingly political one.
When abortion rights are under attack.
As we see more and more protests, we're watching more and more politicians come down on what's happening. They're either weighing in on the Supreme Court leak itself, as many Republicans are, or the implications of a rights reversal for millions of women, which is what we're hearing from many Democrats. Keep in mind, we are in a midterm election year, and there's a lot riding on this decision and the ability to get out the vote in one way or another later this year. Let's discuss with our roundtable of journalists. Please welcome back KMBC9 political reporter Michael Mahoney and Jason Hancock, editor-in-chief of the Missouri Independent. Okay, so Republicans are mad about this leak, which is very rare. Mahoney, is it because they're worried about any pressure facing the court or what it could do to voter turnout?
It's a question of pressure on the court. Josh Hawley, Missouri senator, says the court, if this is in fact the real opinion, and it's only a draft of it, but if they've got a finished opinion, he's saying release it now. He's also saying that this leak is from the left, the political left, to try and lock some justices into their opinion on this. There is another theory out here that the leak is coming from the political right to do the very same thing, lock the justices into their positions that are indicated in this draft. The other political component of this is that Missouri, for decades, has been a very, very tough state on abortion rights, very, very difficult to deal with. And the other thing is that the first ballot opportunity to take a look at the impact of whatever this ruling ends up being is going to be in Kansas on August the 2nd with their value them both a constitutional amendment that's on the ballot.
All right, we've talked about that a little bit here on the program today. Jason, how are Missouri lawmakers reacting to this news and any potential decision?
Well, as you can imagine, Republicans are celebrating the idea. You know, in 2019, they passed that trigger ban. So you have a situation where whether or not abortion will be permitted in Missouri is going to be dependent on that court decision. And while, you know, Kansas and the eyes of the folks on the other side of the state line will be on that August 2nd constitutional amendment, Missourians are going to be watching it as well, because about half of all abortions performed in Kansas are Missourians who cross the state line to access that care because laws have gotten so restrictive in Missouri. So it really is, you know, that August election is going to have huge ramifications in both states if indeed that draft opinion that was leaked turns out to be the case.
Jason, just a question here. At one point during this session, there was a state representative that was proposing a law that would make it illegal for anybody to assist a Missourian to get an abortion anywhere. And I don't think that's been going anywhere, but it was discussed and filed, correct?
Yeah, they debated it earlier this year. It didn't get a lot of traction. It's a very controversial idea because you're starting to get into the idea. You had Democrats that were comparing it to the fugitive slave law. But, you know, in a state that's always sort of been on the forefront of abortion regulation and restrictions, in a post-Roe world, that feels like that's the next step, is to start to figure out, well, how do we make it harder for women to access abortion outside of our borders when you have Illinois to the east and, depending on what happens in August, Kansas to the west, allowing a lot more access.
Jason, the session's winding down in Jeff City with just a week to go. It is notable the fracture that we've seen within the Republican Party this year when it comes to this conservative caucus. You still have maps to deal with. Are lawmakers mending any fences as they enter this home stretch?
I wouldn't go as far as to say mending fences. I'd say they're more afraid of what the judicial branch might do with these maps than they are of what they might do. And so that's a possibility that just the fear of the unknown might motivate them. You know, they have started the process of another map. The House is pushing that along. They say that they've got a little bit of Senate buy-in, but there's still a lot to be worked out. That is not music to the ears of those that want to see a map get done this year. I believe the idea of a 7-1 map where they target Emanuel Cleaver's Kansas City seat, that's officially dead. I don't think people are going to be pushing that anymore. But whether or not they can draw a map that they can get across the finish line and approve, it's a pretty long shot in this with all the divides and the fissures within the Republican Party this year. So it's likely going to be something that a court ends up drawing at some point down the road.
Yeah, it's something that we're going to be watching for sure. Let's leave it there for this week. Michael Mahoney, Jason Hancock, thanks so much for your time.